Happy Friday afternoon. Another week to talk a little bit about some of the accomplishments in finance and IT. And so we'll talk a little bit about some things that both IT and finance have been working on. Steve just shared with me some of the accomplishments over with in IT. We had just recently, as of today, we made some accomplishments with EnerGov. There's been a huge push, as everyone knows, over the last couple of years to get EnerGov online and to deal with the whole range of bugs and challenges with that we've had with that project. For those of you who are new to the organization, EnerGov was selected back in 2010, and we've just launched it last year. And it was plagued with some real challenges with programming, with some just functionality, and there's been a lot of lessons learned. And the recent push is to actually complete our contract with EnerGov has been to migrate the data over. And we had a big push to make that happen, had the data ready to go last month, and then they told us that we weren't going to be able to move the data over until spring. You can imagine the level of disappointment across the organization with all the people that are really pushing. And Michael and Kadrin and Garrett and Steve put together a plan, reached up the ladder at Tyler Technologies and was able to get them to expedite. It looks like we're going to have that data move through sometime in the middle of December, so really appreciate the thought and care that went into that, and I know it was a big push to make that happen. We had earlier this week, yesterday, we had, I think it was yesterday, GIS Day, and David Yun and the team, along with GIS professionals throughout the county, were over at the library showcasing all the work that they do for the city. The mayor came by, Katie read a proclamation, and I think that, this really highlights, I think, when you see the level of interest by both elected officials and appointed officials like Katie, just how much we value GIS. And we can't imagine a day today, I can't, with the idea of not having GIS and just all the wonderful analytical pieces of information that they bring to the table, and what an outstanding team that Don, Mary, and David make. So appreciate their efforts in working on that. There was some work this week by Eric in terms of some Cognos reporting. Lori is just over the top, Lori Leal, about how much this is going to help in terms of automating reporting that the different fiscal officers needed. It's going to save countless hours of time in terms of steps that she had to take. So really thankful to Eric and the team on that, and for folks being innovative on that front. I know that there's some work done by the finance and IT team regarding the emergency notification system over at the fire station. A huge appreciation to those, to Steve. I know that there was a big interest in the fire department in getting that system upgraded and ultimately for it to be stable. In terms of the budget and finance side, Zena and the team sent out some new salary worksheets to all of the analysts and fiscal officers. And the reason that we're sending those out is really twofold. One, we want to understand, based upon the adjustments in compensation associated with the new agreements, what are the budget adjustments we need to make to have those department budgets in balance as of June 30th, 2016. And we also need to know, as we think about budgeting for the supplement, what are the budgeted amounts we can need for the 16-17 fiscal year. Appreciate Eric. He's done a lot of work there and gave some clear instructions, and that work will pay off in dividends. Some other work that's happening on the budget side is that Zena and Shelley have been working on some pieces of the 5-year forecast, and I know that the accounting team is aware that we have to have all the revenues posted by, I think it's December 10th, in order for us to have all the revenues forecasted by December 17th, so we can put that into the 5-year forecast and report that to the City Council in mid-February for the mid-year report. Speaking of just other things that are going on in terms of some next steps with GFOA, We've tentatively scheduled their return for December 7th through the 9th. And you'll be getting some emails and agendas from Greg Herman as we draw closer to that. The next focus is really going to be on one-on-one meetings to drill down deeper in some of the areas. We've had some requests for different accounting members and departments to meet with them to talk about some of the areas where we can improve. And then we're also going to be specifically talking about reporting and seeing if there's ways that we can essentially automate some of the other reports that we have to prepare on an ongoing basis, whether that's the CAFR or just quarterly reports that we deliver to the City Council. What are some canned reports that we can be thinking about, and what are GFOA's thoughts in terms of integrating this into the system? We did have, on the healthy side, we had I think, a great department meeting this week. We brought in Dale McGee, and she did the first of many different team building sessions. It looks like we'll have another one in December at our department meeting, and then looks like that the very last week in January is when we'll do our first off-site. It was a pretty simple exercise. The exercise for the day was really about switching names and name tags and getting to know each other and learning things. I didn't know that Lori was a classical piano player. I didn't know that Tracy's her mom and dad's name are both Pat. These are, I think in my mind, these are the cool stuff that you get to learn about each other and the things that you wouldn't otherwise find out. And when you find these things out about people, ultimately these are the types of things that build bonds and strengthen relationships and really start to get at creating a team rather just than individuals who occupy discrete roles within the organization. I think, on that front, I think of last week, I recognized Lorraine. She's really stepped up, and she's done a great job processing an AP. And, we've also had enjoyed Tina's involvement, and Lori has been very appreciative of the assistance that Tina has brought to the table in terms of helping her out with the year-end payroll responsibilities. We've got everything from new requirements with the the Affordable Care Act. We've got COLA adjustments, and then we've got just we've got vacation buyouts. There's a lot of different activity that kind of crescendos at the end of the calendar year, and we really couldn't have done it without Tina's assistance. I'll just close this week and with a couple thanks. Which is one, I want to thank Marjorie on top of everything else that she's been doing with organizing the feast. It was my first time to be down here in the English basement, as my wife calls it, to experience the feast, and it was wonderful just all day, just having the growing aroma of the fresh cooked turkey, and then just to see all the wonderful dishes that people brought in, and then just to sit down and break bread together as a team and as an organization. Those are really beyond just getting to know each other. Those are the kind of bonds that will really bring us together, and in times of challenges and times of change, we remember those kind of close those times feeling close together where it helps us through those tough issues. I'll just close with a quote this week is that building a cohesive team is the first step that an organization must take to have the best chance to succeed. So I think we're on that path right now. We're taking those small incremental steps, and I want to thank you for being along with me in that journey. And I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving holiday for those folks that are traveling. And I look forward to connecting with folks that are away next week on Monday, November the 30th. Take care and enjoy the holiday.